My wife and her childhood friend Jessica had a silly tradition from their college days that they absolutely refused to break under any circumstances, no matter how unexpected. Every late summer, specifically on the last Friday or Saturday of August, during a night of heavy drinking, they reminded themselves that they could still be young and not be afraid of the passing years. I supported this tradition without much enthusiasm. Back in college, when I first met Victoria and long before we were married, I truly believed that these wild outings with her friend involving excessive drinking would eventually die down. But I was wrong. To my surprise, Jessica's divorce further shattered my expectations. I vividly remember that year when the two of them pounced on the bartender with renewed vigor, greedily grabbing strong cocktails. They tore up the dance floor with the same fervor, as if blaming him for their failed attempts to start a family. Usually on nights like this, I stayed home and waited for the phone to ring. On the other end of the line, I would hear slurred speech and attempts to declare their love for me. Even after all these years, it still brings a smile to my face. Like every time this year, when I heard the call, I quickly got ready and grabbed my car keys. I would usually pull up to the same club and find a group of well-dressed adult women waiting at the entrance. They always stood out among the crowd. Without wasting any time, I would help one of them into the back seat and the other into the front passenger seat. I had learned from past experience that putting two people in the back seat together was a bad idea. Training at the top of my lungs, confessing my love, and making all the men around me feel awkward was quite a challenge when there wasn't much space between them. This time, however, for some unknown reason, I decided that Jessica would sit in the front seat with me. My wife had already fallen asleep, which didn't happen very often. Unlike my wife, her friend could actually form coherent sentences, and her thoughts were quite interesting. She often complained about how hard it was for her, at her age, to find a man who would treat her kindly and take her to bed without scolding her. Just as she was about to continue, I had to interrupt her. It was the first sign that this year would be unlike any other. Honestly, what Jessica was telling me was quite intriguing, especially since my wife was napping right behind me. It was a whole new experience for me that I would never have initiated on my own. Jessica never stayed the night after our usual drinking sessions. She usually slept either on the couch in the living room or next to my wife in the bed, and I was left to sleep in the other room. I left the room, closed the door, and expected Jessica to wash up in the shower. However, instead I heard the clinking of two glasses. "Would you like to have a drink with me?" Jessica asked, giving me a seductive look in the dim light. It was impossible to resist. Why not? We poured ourselves some wine, white, semi-sweet, and sat down on the couch. I had to admit that my wife's friend turned out to be a very interesting conversationalist. Although my gaze often wandered to her legs or her beautiful breasts, and she noticed it and moved closer, as if adjusting the pillow behind her back to make it more comfortable. But in fact, Jessica was testing the boundaries. And damn it, she'd found them. I had never cheated on my wife until that moment, and I was sure it would never happen. The wine had loosened my inhibitions, and her passionate glances and veiled invitations were getting harder to resist. "I really should go to bed," I said, rising from the couch. Jessica put her hand on my shoulder. "Stay a little longer," she pouted. "We rarely get to talk alone." Her fingers traced gentle circles on my wrist. I felt my resolve weaken. We locked eyes for a moment. Then Jessica suddenly leaned in and kissed me. Before I knew it, she was in my lap, and my hands were tangled in her hair. Without breaking the embrace, we reached the guest room. We had an explosive body-pleasing adventure that night. All thoughts of my wife vanished, consumed by desire and alcohol. I woke up the next morning horrified, realizing what I had done. Jessica was acting as if nothing had happened, but I was overwhelmed with shame and panic. I quickly got dressed and went to check on Victoria. She was still asleep and hadn't heard anything. I breathed a sigh of relief, but knew I had to end things with Jessica for good. Before I left, I took her aside and firmly told her that last night would never happen again. Distraught, she begged me not to break our connection. But, tormented by guilt, I cut off all contact. Losing her as a lover was hard, but nothing compared to the thought of losing my wife. I learned a valuable lesson. Never assume that attraction can't grow into something more in a moment of weakness. I have rededicated myself to Victoria and our marriage, and am grateful that she remains unaware of it. As for Jessica, she too has finally moved on with her life, though there is still unspoken tension between us. I know we both regret what almost happened, but in the end, the person you made a vow to is more important, a fleeting male weakness to a woman's seduction. The crisp morning air in Rivertown held a sense of normal CSI. Emily Turner sorted through the mail on the kitchen counter. Bills, advertisements, and the usual letters filled the pile. However, one envelope stood out, a plain white envelope with no return address, only my name, neatly handwritten. Intrigued and slightly wary, I tore it open to reveal a typed letter that read, "Dear Emily, I thought you should know that not everything is as it seems. Secrets have a way of surfacing, and sometimes the truth can be unsettling. Open your eyes before it's too late. Sincerely, a well-wisher." The cryptic words sent a shiver down my spine, and a wave of unease washed over me. What could this mean? Who was behind this ominous message? Questions swirled in my mind, and a sense of urgency pushed me to seek answers. Determined to uncover the truth, I rushed to my workplace at Horizon Corporation, where the day unfolded in the usual corporate buzz. As I navigated through cubicles and conference rooms, my colleague, Alex Reynolds, approached me hesitantly. "Emily, can we talk for a moment?" Alex's eyes darted around as if afraid someone might overhear. "Sure, what's on your mind?" I replied, my curiosity piqued. Alex took a deep breath before dropping the bombshell. "I overheard some rumors, Emily, about Mark." My heart skipped a beat, and I looked around cautiously. "But rumors? What are you talking about?" Lowering their voice, Alex continued, "I heard he was seen at a hotel with another woman. I thought you should know." Shock and disbelief coursed through me. "That can't be true. Mark would never." "I'm just telling you what I heard," Alex said with a sympathetic expression. "Maybe it's nothing, but I thought you should be aware." The unsettling revelation echoed in my mind, leaving me torn between trusting my husband and the seed of doubt planted by the mysterious letter and Alex's words. As I grappled with conflicting emotions, the journey to uncover the truth began, setting the stage for the tumultuous chapters that lay ahead. The fluorescent lights of Horizon Corporation flickered above as I navigated the sterile hallways, the unsettling letter burning a hole in my pocket. My colleague, Alex Reynolds, had dropped a bombshell, and the air seemed thick with tension as I approached their desk. "Alex, we need to talk," I said, my voice a hushed urgency. Alex glanced around, gauging the privacy of the moment, then motioned towards a secluded corner. "What's going on, Emily? You seem really on edge." Taking a deep breath, I unfolded the mysterious letter and showed it to Alex. "This letter. It arrived this morning, and it's anonymous. Someone is hinting at a secret involving Mark." Alex's eyes widened as they read the letter, and a furrow formed on their forehead. "That's ominous. Do you have any idea who could be behind this?" I shook my head, feeling a mix of frustration and fear. "No clue. But there's more. You mentioned rumors about Mark being seen at a hotel with another woman. Is there any truth to that?" Alex hesitated, choosing words carefully. "I didn't want to believe it, Emily, but I overheard a conversation. It was about your husband Mark, seen with someone at a hotel. I thought you should know." A lump formed in my throat, and I swallowed hard. Mark would never do something like that. We've been married for 7 years, and we've built a life together. Look, I understand it's tough to process, but if there's any truth to it, you deserve to know," Alex said empathetically. As the weight of Alex's words sank in, I decided to confront Mark. The atmosphere in our home that evening was tense, and I couldn't shake the nagging doubt. Mark noticed my unease. "What's wrong, Emily?" he asked, concern etched across his face. I took a deep breath, my hands trembling. Alex mentioned something today, Mark, about you at a hotel. Is there any truth to it? Mark's expression shifted from concern to surprise. According to defensive denial, what? No, Emily, that's ridiculous. I have no idea what they're talking about. Someone sent me a letter, Mark, an anonymous letter hinting at a secret involving you. I need to know the truth, I pleaded. Mark's eyes met mine, and for a moment, uncertainty flashed in them. Emily, I swear to you, I have no idea what this is about. I would never betray our marriage. As the dialogue unfolded, the lines between trust and suspicion blurred, setting the stage for a tumultuous journey to uncover the unsettling truth about our seemingly perfect life. The weight of doubt hung heavy in the air as I, Emily Turner, grappled with the unsettling revelations surrounding my husband, Mark. The evening unfolded in our cozy living room, the flickering candlelight casting shadows that mirrored the turmoil within. Mark, I need you to be honest with me. I said, my voice trembling with a mix of fear and desperation. I can't shake off the feeling that there's something you're not telling me. Mark sighed, the weariness evident in his eyes. Emily, I swear on everything that matters to me, I have no idea what this is about. I love you, and our marriage means everything to me. His words, though reassuring, failed to quell the nagging doubts fueled by Alex's unsettling revelation and the mysterious letter. But Mark, someone mentioned seeing you at a hotel with another woman. I need the truth. Mark's brow furrowed, his tone edged with frustration. Emily, I have no idea where this is coming from. It's absurd. I would never do anything to jeopardize what we have. Torn between trust and uncertainty, I pressed further. Alex seemed convinced. Are they making this up, or is there some truth to it? Mark's eyes met mine, a mixture of frustration and genuine confusion. Alex must have misunderstood something or heard gossip. I can't explain it, but I promise you, Emily, there's no truth to these rumors. As the conversation continued, a sense of unease settled in the room. The lines between doubt and denial blurred, leaving me with a gnawing sense of uncertainty. Mark, I want to believe you, but something doesn't add up. If there's nothing to hide, then why does this letter hint at a secret? Mark's expression shifted from frustration to concern. Emily, I don't know about any letter. I'm as in the dark as you are, but we can get through this. We faced challenges before. The conflicting emotions within me intensified. I just need to understand, Mark. I need the truth, no matter how painful it may be. Mark took a deep breath, his eyes locking onto mine. Emily, I love you, and I'll do whatever it takes to prove my innocence. We can weave this storm together. As the night wore on, doubts lingered, and the quest for clarity became an ever-elusive journey. The unsettling revelations had cast a shadow over our once stable marriage, leaving me with the daunting task of deciphering the truth from the web of doubts and denials. As doubts festered and trust wavered, a tempest of emotions raged within me. Emily Turner. The unsettling revelations about my husband, Mark, propelled me into the tumultuous realm of vengeful temptations. One evening, I found myself in a dimly lit bar, nursing a drink while contemplating the unthinkable. Across the room, a familiar face emerged, Sarah Mitchell, an acquaintance from my social circle. Emily, fancy seeing you here, Sarah said, a sly smile playing on her lips. Care for some company? As we exchanged pleasantries, Sarah's gaze shifted, and she leaned in conspiratorially. I heard about Mark's weave. Men can be such disappointments, can't they? A bitter chuckle escaped me. You have no idea. Sarah's eyes gleamed with mischief. Well, revenge is a dish best served cold. Never considered giving him a taste of his own medicine. The notion lingered in the air, and a vengeful seed took root in my wounded heart. What do you have in mind? I asked, my curiosity piqued. Sarah leaned closer, her voice a conspiratorial whisper. Have an affair, Emily. Show him that two can play at this game. Make him feel the betrayal he may have inflicted upon you. The idea, though tempting, left a bitter taste in my mouth. But Sarah, I love him. The thought of doing to him what he might have done to me. It's not who I am. Sarah chuckled. Sweet, sometimes you gotta fight fire with fire. Besides, a little revenge might be just what you need to heal. As Sarah's words lingered, the vengeful temptation took root, and I found myself considering the unthinkable. The blurred lines between right and wrong painted a complex picture, and the path, too. Revenge seemed both alluring and treacherous. Days later, a chance encounter with a coworker, Andy Thompson, sparked an idea. Andy, a charismatic figure with a reputation for his amorous escapades, became a pawn in my vengeful game. Emily, what brings you here? Andy asked, a playful smirk on his face. A nervous smile played on my lips. Just needed a change of scenery, you know. Andy leaned in, his tone dripping with charm. Well, if you're looking for a good time, I'm your man. As the vengeful plot unfolded, the lines between morality and retribution blurred. The prospect of an affair became a dangerous game, and the consequences of my actions loomed on the horizon. The journey into vengeful temptations marked a turning point where the desire for retribution clashed with the lingering love for a husband clouded in uncertainty. The decision to succumb to vengeful temptations led me, Emily Turner, down a path I'd never imagined. The air crackled with tension as I found myself in a dimly lit, clandestine location with Andy Thompson, a coworker whose charismatic reputation had preceded him. Emily, what brings you to this side of town? Andy asked, his eyes glinting with mischief. I hesitated, my resolve momentarily wavering. Just needed a break from the routine, you know. Andy leaned in, a sleek grin playing on his lips. Well, lucky for you, I specialize in making breaks memorable. As the night unfolded, the allure of a forbidden encounter loomed over us. The blurred lines between right and wrong added a thrilling edge to the affair that was about to begin. In a secluded corner, Andy's charm was palpable. Why waste time on the mundane when we could create a night to remember, Emily? A nervous smile tugged at the corners of my lips. I never thought I'd find myself in a situation like this. Andy's laughter resonated in the dimly lit space. Life is full of surprises, Emily. Sometimes you just have to embrace the unexpected. As the night wore on, the affair unfolded with a mix of hesitation and desire. A clandestine rendezvous became a dance of stolen glances and whispered confessions. I can't believe we're doing this, I admitted, a hint of guilt in my voice. Andy's gaze locked onto mine. Sometimes the best moments happen when we least expect them. Just go with it, Emily. As the affair deepened, a clandestine world opened up before me. The thrill of the forbidden mingled with the way of guilt, creating a complex tapestry of emotions. The affair with Andy became a double-edged sword, offering both solace and the sharp sting of betrayal. The next morning, the reality of what transpired hung in the air as Andy and I exchanged furtive glances. The consequences of our actions loomed on the horizon. The affair had begun, and the journey into the tangled web of infidelity marked a point of no return. The once clear lines between right and wrong now blurred, leaving me to navigate the tumultuous path ahead. The aftermath of the affair cast a shadow over my everyday life, and the web of deceit became increasingly difficult to navigate. In an attempt to find solace and distraction, I turned to my best friend, Lily Peterson. Lily, I don't know what I've gotten myself into, I confessed, the weight of guilt evident in my voice. Lily, ever the supportive friend, offered a reassuring smile. We all make mistakes, Emily. What happened? As I recounted the affair with Andy, Lily's expression shifted from concern to disbelief. An affair? Emily, I'd never expected you to go down that path. What about Mark? Tears welled up in my eyes as I struggled to find the right words. I don't know, Lily. Everything is so messed up. I thought revenge would help, but now I just feel lost. Lily, ever the pragmatist, grabbed my hands. Let's focus on finding a way out of this mess. We'll figure it out together. In the midst of my turmoil, a series of unexpected discoveries unfolded. Mark's behavior grew increasingly erratic, adding a layer of complexity to the situation. One evening, as I rummaged through his belongings, I stumbled upon a mysterious set of matchsticks. Mark, what's the story with these matchsticks? I asked, a note of suspicion in my voice. Mark, caught off guard, stammered, "Oh, those. They're from a business trip, just souvenirs, nothing significant." Unconvinced, I pressed further. "Mark, we need honesty now more than ever. Please, tell me the truth." Mark's expression wavered and a sigh escaped him. "Okay, Emily. I may have stayed at a hotel during a trip, but nothing happened. I promise you." The revelations left me torn between conflicting emotions, the guilt of my own actions, and the uncertainty surrounding Mark's honesty. The affair had become a tangled web of deceit, and the path to redemption seemed elusive. As the days passed, Lily attempted to distract me from the chaos. "Let's go out, Emily. A night of fun might be just what you need to clear your mind." Reluctantly, I agreed, hoping to find respite in the midst of the storm. Still did I know that the distractions that awaited me would only serve to deepen the complexities of an already tumultuous journey. The discoveries and distractions became threads in a narrative woven with secrets, lies, and the unraveling of the once sturdy fabric of my life. The air in our home became thick with tension as Emily Turner confronted Mark about the affair, the mysterious matchsticks, and the growing uncertainty that hovered over us like a storm cloud. "Mark, we need to talk," I said, my voice trembling with a mix of apprehension and determination. He looked up from his work, his eyes meeting mine with a flicker of surprise. "Talk about what, Emily?" Taking a deep breath, I began. "I found these matchsticks, and your explanation doesn't add up. What really happened during that business trip?" Mark's gaze shifted, and he sighed, the weight of his own secrets evident. "Emily, it's complicated. I stayed at a hotel, but it wasn't what you think." Anger and hurt bubbled within me. "Just be honest with me, Mark. I can't handle any more lies." Mark hesitated before finally admitting, "I met someone, Emily. It was a mistake, and I regret it. But nothing happened after that, I promise." The words hung in the air, the admission of his own betrayal adding another layer to the tangled web of our unraveling marriage. The confrontation intensified as the truth, painful and raw, clawed its way to the surface. "You cheated on me, Mark. After everything, you betrayed our marriage." I accused, my voice breaking. Mark's eyes held a mix of remorse and desperation. "Emily, I never meant for any of this to happen. I love you, and I want to make things right." The confrontation escalated, emotions spilling over in a torrent of accusations and apologies. "How can I trust you again, Mark? The foundation of our marriage is shattered," I cried, the weight of the revelations crushing my spirit. As we grappled with the aftermath of the confrontation, the reality of our broken relationship became painfully clear. Trust, once shattered, proved difficult to rebuild. The echoes of the confrontation lingered, leaving us both wounded and uncertain about the future. In the midst of the chaos, Lily became a pillar of support. "Emily, you deserve better. Whenever you decide, I'll be here for you," she assured, offering a glimmer of solace in the midst of the emotional tempest. The confrontation marked a turning point where the facade of our once stable marriage crumbled, laying bare the harsh truths that would shape the chapters to come. The journey toward reconciliation or separation unfolded as we grappled with the consequences of our actions and the uncertain road that lay ahead. In the aftermath of the confrontations, our home became a battlefield of emotions, each roommate going with the weight of unspoken words and shattered trust. As Emily Turner, retreated into a cocoon of solitude, the journey of reflection and regrets unfolded. The quiet solitude of our home allowed the echoes of my thoughts to reverberate. How did we get here? I wondered aloud, the weight of regret settling like a heavy fog. One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow on the walls, Mark cautiously approached me. "Emily, we need to talk about what happened. Can we try to work through this together?" The vulnerability in his voice tugged at my heart, yet the wounds were still raw. "Mark, I need time to process everything. I don't know if we can go back to how things were." The room fell into a heavy silence, the realization of irreversible damage lingering in the air. Mark's expression mirrored the regret etched into my own. Days turned into nights, each moment marked by reflections on the choices that led us to this juncture. Lily, a constant presence in my life, offered a listening ear. Emily, regrets are a heavy burden to bear. But sometimes it's not about erasing them. It's about learning from them. Lily advised her wisdom of beacon in the storm. In the dim glow of our living room, Mark and I attempted to navigate the treacherous terrain of apologies and forgiveness. I never meant to hurt you, Emily. If I could go back and change things, I would. Mark confessed, his eyes reflecting the depth of his regret. The words hung in the air, a fragile bridge between remorse and reconciliation. Mark, I don't know if I can forgive you. I admitted, the weight of my own regrets pressing down on me. As the chapter of reflections and regrets unfolded, the whole we once shared became a canvas painted with the hues of sorrow and self-discovery. The uncertain road ahead loomed large, and the echoes of our mistakes reverberated, leaving us to grapple with the profound consequences of our choices. The journey toward healing and resolution had just begun, and the path forward remained uncertain, obscured by the shadows of reflections and regrets. Amid the wreckage of our marriage, unexpected alliances emerged, reshaping the landscape of our lives. Lily, my steadfast confidant, took it upon herself to bridge the chasm between Mark and me. Emily, you both need to find common ground if there's any hope for reconciliation. Lily insisted, her determination palpable. Reluctantly, I agreed to attend a counseling session with Mark, the air heavy with unresolved tension. The counselor, Dr. Reynolds, created a space for us to navigate the tangled emotions. Let's start with honesty. Emily, what are your deepest concerns about the future of your marriage? The room fell into a charged silence before I spoke, my voice edged with vulnerability. Trust, once shattered, I don't know how to piece it back together. Can we ever rebuild what we had? Mark, his eyes reflecting a mix of remorse and determination, responded, Emily, I know I've hurt you, and I hate myself for it, but I want to make amends and rebuild the trust we've lost. As the session progressed, unexpected alliances formed between us and Dr. Reynolds, becoming the bridge we needed to traverse the turbulent waters of our damaged relationship. Outside the counseling room, Lily played the role of mediator. You both have a long journey ahead, but don't underestimate the power of forgiveness. She advised, her words resonating with hope. Days turned into weeks, and the unexpected alliances became the foundation upon which we started to rebuild. Mark and I, once distant, began to navigate the uncertain terrain of forgiveness and redemption. I never thought I'd say this, but I appreciate you being there for us. Lily, Mark admitted one evening, the weight of gratitude in his voice. Lily smiled, acknowledging the fragile progress we were making. It's not just for you two. It's for the friendship we all shared. And Emily, forgiveness doesn't mean forgetting. It means choosing to move forward despite the pain. As the unexpected alliances flourished, the fog of resentment began to lift. The path ahead remained uncertain, but the bond forged between us and our unexpected ally. Dr. Reynolds hinted at the possibility of a new chapter, a chapter of healing, growth, and the redemption of a love once thought irreparably damaged. The sun dipped low on the horizon, casting a warm glow over a home that had weathered the storm of betrayal and regret. As the final chapter unfolded, the promise of a new beginning shimmered on the horizon for Emily, Turner, and Mark, two souls battered by the tumultuous journey they had weathered. In the wake of counseling sessions and unexpected alliances, the once fractured relationship between Mark and Emily began to mend. Dr. Reynolds, the wise mediator, continued to guide them through the intricate process of healing. Rebuilding trust is a gradual process. Dr. Reynolds assured their counseling sessions becoming a cornerstone in the foundation of their reconciliation. One evening, as the walls of resentment began to crumble, Mark and Emily sat across from each other in the living room, the air charged with the possibility of a fresh start. I never thought we'd come this far. Emily admitted, her gaze meeting Mark's with a mix of vulnerability and hope. Mark nodded, a sincerity in his eyes that mirrored the desire for redemption. Emily, I know I've hurt you and I can't change the past, but I'm committed to making our future Better. Let's start anew. The sentiment lingered in the room, the weight of their shared history giving way to the promise of a new beginning. Lily, the steadfast friend, watched from the sidelines, a silent witness to the metamorphosis of a love that had weathered the harshest of storms. As the days turned into weeks, Mark and Emily embarked on a journey of rediscovery. Dates that felt like first meetings, shared laughter that echoed with the resonance of a love reborn. Each moment became a brushstroke on the canvas of their renewed relationship. "I never thought we'd find our way back to each other," Emily confessed one night, her head resting on Mark's shoulder. Mark squeezed her hand gently. "Sometimes the most beautiful things can emerge from the darkest places. Our love is stronger now, forged in the fire of our trials." The echoes of forgiveness and resilience resonated, creating a melody of hope that heralded a new chapter for Mark and Emily. The scars of the past became a testament to their strength, and the promise of a new beginning cast a radiant light on the path ahead. As the final chapter unfolded, Mark and Emily stood on the threshold of a future rebuilt from the ashes of their shared history. The story of their love, once marred by betrayal and regret, now unfolded with the promise of a new beginning, a testament to the enduring power of forgiveness and the resilience of a love that refused to be extinguished. Thanks to everyone who took the time to listen to today's stories. If you enjoyed it, please consider liking and subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share your thoughts on the events in the comments below. Take care.